All right, hi everybody. I'm John
I'm Joni.
for Grow, Love, and Expand. Coming at you. It's a Tuesday night here after work. Long day of working, at a regular job. But what do you got? You got anything tonight? Any thoughts?
Um, I was just thinking about the experiences that we have. Do our guides bring us experiences, or, or are we just here to live life and take it as it comes? I was thinking about healing past trauma, things like that. Do we encounter certain things so that we can learn a lesson from it?
So you asked a couple of different questions there.
Right. I guess I want to know if our guides are giving us experiences.
Let's start off with one very important point. So many people in their lives go, "Why haven't you done this?" or "Why haven't you?" Here's the problem. I'll get back to that.
Okay.
You need to start learning to be very specific in what you ask for and your intentions. And to simply say, well, doesn't God know what I mean? Doesn't my angels know what I mean? Well, of course they do. But if you don't know what you mean and you're God, then why would you expect anybody else to understand what you mean? Okay? So think about it as a court of law. If you're giving a dissertation on a particular topic, you better have your stuff in order and you better be very specific on what you're asking for. And that's why I always tell people I'm not a huge believer in meditation. I don't do it a lot because I believe life itself is really a walking meditation. But once you get to a certain point, you understand that, and pretty much everything you do is a kind of a walking verbal meditation, right? I mean, because after all, we're spiritual entities having a human experience, okay? And so when you devise a question in your life or is something that you would want to happen, think about it very diligently. And then when you ask for this reality to occur, make sure you're specific. Because if you're not specific, guess what you're going to get in return? Life itself is sort of a boomerang. If we give it fluff, we get back fluff, right? And we go, well, why does this ever occur? Well, we don't really know what you're talking about, right? Because you never really defined it. You and that and this and this. Like, what did you just say? I have no idea. I have no idea what you just asked. There's like 4 questions in that, right? You see what I mean? And so like the universe is going, okay, I have no idea. You see what I mean? And so you're the universe, right?
Right.
So when we want things to happen in our lives, we want to make sure we're very specific in our intentions and what we ask for, right? Because otherwise, we're just throwing stuff in the air, right? And life's a boomerang. Life is a pitchback, right? What we throw out there, it comes back to us. So if we throw out non-specificality, we get back non-specificality, right? So we say, okay, so we go, okay, I want this to occur. Define it. What do you mean? So I want to win the Powerball. Okay, what does that mean? Because you just won $2. You didn't specify you wanted the jackpot.
Right.
Right? You hit the Powerball number and you won $4. So you did technically win Powerball. Right?
Right.
So, okay, so what's your point? Right? You go, well, how come I didn't win the Powerball? They said, you did. You won $4. I don't understand your point. Didn't you say you wanted to win the Powerball? You didn't specifically say, I want the Powerball jack. I want whatever the highest jackpot that is, that's what I want to win.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I use that just as a sort of primary example because there's many of those types of examples, but that's what I'm talking about being specific. Now, to answer your question, no, guides do not give you situations. No, you give yourself situations. Guides are only the facilitator of the method and how to learn that. You are ultimately the guide be all things. So do guides give you, no, they do not. You give yourself specific lessons in order to learn, and the guides help facilitate the method in order to learn that lesson.
Okay.
See? So
Right.
we all have guides and angels all around us, but they take their walking papers, their orders from God, which is your higher self. You, God, Goddess, all that is, whatever you want to call the infinite wisdom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so they're incredibly loving, unbelievably compassionate, beautiful beings, that are like, I want to help this person. What can I be of assistance? I mean, they want to help. So they're like, what can we do to help? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's fantastic. So what we need to do is we need to get this person over here, and we have to facilitate this in order for that to occur. And the guys go, okay, great. How would you like me to go about it? Well, I need you to go talk to that person, that person. They coordinate it all, right?
Right.
But the lessons are coming from you.
Okay. That makes sense, actually.
Right. The guides help facilitate. What was the other question? I forgot.
Well, I was wondering if that was the case, then are we trying to maybe heal something from the past, some kind of trauma or some kind of karmic reality?
Okay, so again, that's not specific. That's two different questions. Heal something and karmic reality.
Well, yeah,
so
either one.
Right, but that's two different.
But
I'm saying, but that's two different questions. Right, so we want to define it. What are we asking here? Do we want to know about karma, or do we want to know about, are we healing a specific?
Well, karma's kind of another topic.
Okay, so define it then. So we're looking about healing.
Maybe something that happened in your past that you.
Do you see what I mean? How we blow it off, but yet it's not very specific. Right. And so we really want to define it and kind of get to where we want to be. And that's what I mean. So many people do that, and they wonder why things don't work out. And it's like sometimes I want to say, well, because we really want to define it. Let's define really what we're asking, right? And then the right answer comes. It's not like, I don't know, I didn't get an answer, Well, because the question was fragmented. We didn't really ask what we wanted to know. We had like 4 different things in there,
right?
And the universe goes, "What did they want to know that?" I don't think.
I'm trying to ask it in a general way, so it's not specific to me.
No, you're getting annoyed because
right.
It's what human beings do.
Because it's not. I'm trying to not make it specific to me.
I know it seems minimal. I know it does, but and it's because the ego now gets offensive. And the ego is the only reason why you're getting upset. The heart is going, yeah, he's actually right. I do need to define more. I
completely understand what you're saying.
Right?
I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but you're getting annoyed. I know you're getting annoyed.
Yeah, because the reason is I don't want to give you my specifics. So,
but if
I guess I should have planned the question before we sat down to talk. I did not do it, and then it didn't come out as in a specific way. So that's my bad.
But it all happened for a reason, because it's to show how we need to be specific. It all happens because we're trying to. The whole reason behind Grow, Love, and Expand is to what? To expand our awareness, our consciousness, to learn, right?
Absolutely.
And to learn and love ourselves, and to understand why maybe things in our lives is not working out the way we'd like them to work out. Right?
Yeah.
And the only reason why someone takes offense is ego, pure ego. There's no other method around it. It's ego. Because if it was anything, the heart goes, okay, let me evaluate that for a second. They're not offended by it, right? They just simply go, okay, interesting. Okay, right? And so there's no feeling either or on the topic of conversation. It's more of a what is, right? So we evaluate and we go, okay, that's an interesting thought, right? Because someone were to pose that to me and I would go, okay, interesting. Like, I look at it completely different, right? But that's just because of years of friggin' practice. I mean, it's been 30-something years, right? Am I perfect? No. By not even me. Is anybody perfect? No. But what I'm saying is, the only reason why you're getting offended is because of ego. Pure ego. That's all it is. Pure simple, right? So this is great because it really shows you what we're talking about as far as being specific. And when you go, I didn't ever get an answer. I asked it, and they say, ask and you shall receive, and I never got an answer. Well, how did you pose the question? And how was it asked? Right? So you're like, okay, how many other times do I do this in my life? Right? And it really gets you to understand the definition of being specific, right?
Right.
And that's really what I'm getting at here. You know, when you are really looking for something to change in your life, try to get as specific as you can about what it is that you're asking and would like to know. Yeah, that's a great example. That's a great example. So what they're showing me here is like a bill. Okay, like Congress is passing a bill, and within that bill, there's like 900 other sub-articles to a bill to appease somebody that has absolutely nothing to do with the bill that gets held up in Congress for 4 months and then in the Senate, and they go, because this one's arguing about this, and really the initial reality that they were never got done in the first place, right? Because there were so many other things involved that it took forever to even get everything done, and then by the time it was done, it's already passed and too late.
Right.
You know,
right.
It's sending a bill to the floor, and you go, here you go, well, wait a second. This isn't to put a highway in the state of Ohio. This is actually building a bridge in Tampa, and we're actually giving money to. You see what I mean? It's like, wait a second. What happened to the bill? You know what I mean? And so that's a great example. They did a good one. But so the question is basically, do we heal things? And yes, absolutely, you can. You can. From past lives? Yeah, without question, you can. Yeah, absolutely, without question. There's things that you may bring in here. I don't believe in karma. I don't think karma exists, in my personal opinion. I do not believe karma exists. I think it's a bull crap. I think it's made up bull crap. I think it's some, I just think it's bull crap. I think what you come in here is a clean slate. I truly do. And I think what you're doing is you're working through issues you might have had in past lives to help you evolve into a greater awareness of yourself. But I don't believe in what karma, like to me, it reminds me of like penance, right? Like you're serving penance. And I don't believe that is to be true because none of this really needs to exist, right? You can do this on the other etheric side, right? So you're basically coming in to be more aware of yourself, right? And maybe learn of something you might have done in a past life and learn what that feels like. So it's just, again, what is. I don't look at it as bad or good, or it's just simply what is. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if I harm somebody in another life, do I come back and get harmed? Like that's kind of karma, what someone caught. No, that's really not how it works. It just doesn't work that way because when once you go over there, you realize that you've learned the lesson. You felt it on the other side. When you do a life review, you felt it.
So you've already learned it.
You've already learned it. And you go, oh my God, so that wasn't it. So, okay, so what should I do? Well, try to correct that behavior in this next life. So whatever you did to that person, now you've learned it. Or whatever you did in that situation, you've learned it. Now we're going to try to correct it. So when it comes around again,
you won't do.
You'll react differently.
Right.
Let's. Oh, okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally could be one thing. Most people, it's two. They come in with, But the true reality to everything, beyond all lessons, is love. If you don't know what your path is, if you don't know what your purpose is, if you don't know what your lesson is, okay? Cool. Don't worry about it. Do me one thing. Learn to love. If you learn to love in this place,
yeah, it's hard.
You're making progress, okay? You're doing good. You're doing really good. And I guarantee you that anything that you thought you were going to learn or supposed to learn, you would have already learned. because love is the key to everything. If you learn to love all things, that's not saying be a patsy. That's not saying having to be around it. But if you know to love all things and show it with love and compassion, trust me, you're doing good. You're doing real good. And the lessons that you think you're supposed to learn, you've already learned them. You'll get there. You know what I mean? Don't worry about that. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Completely.
So, what do you got? Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No.
So, we kind of went off on a couple of different topics there, which was fantastic. I think that's great. That's what I mean about being specific. Okay? Like, when you think about your life and it's not maybe going in the direction that you want it to go into, try to get specific on how you would like to achieve that goal without filling that bill with a lot of other proposals. Okay? So we can really hone in on what it is that we're wanting to do. Okay? And because it's a pinpoint of light, that specificality that really brings it into focus, because it's all your intention. You see? And that's what really creates the awareness of what is already there. Make sense?
Yes.
So with that, I'm John.
I'm Joni.
For Grow, Love, and Expand. Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember, always, always, always love yourself, right? Be kind to yourself. Thusly, you'll be kind to others. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your night, wherever you're watching this. If you're watching this on Facebook, please hit the like and subscribe on the YouTube. We appreciate that. Let's spread the word. Let's build the channel and spread the word of love to all throughout the world. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.